welcome everybody. I'm glad to see you here today. Please welcome Tim and Samantha Keller.
Dating seminar was really good. I was pretty much captivated the whole time. Now I have some constructive and concrete steps on what I can do to date in a way that's honorable to the other people, but also in a way that's honorable to God.
So we're going to put together a constructive step-by-step plan to go through all the phases of dating and make sure that you walk away today with a great plan to navigate your dating relationships differently, the way God intended. Why is it that we're not experiencing the dating relationships that we desire? And they're not going the direction that it seems as though God would have them go either. What is God's intent for male-female relationships? And I want to let you know from the start that neither Sam or myself had all of our dating lives figured out.
I didn't grow up in a Christian home. It was a little bit dysfunctional. There was divorce. We didn't have dating conversations, not unlike my husband. My dating philosophy was really learned from things like The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, my dad's Playboys, and Jackie Collins novels. By the time I got to high school, I was, I think, 16 when I had my first boyfriend. We waited about 5 months before we had sex, and I thought I was playing hard to get. By the time I got to college, I joined a sorority. I thought, okay, everybody's doing it, right?
What I realized is that I kind of engaged in what I would call the hot chick theory. Into high school, I want to be the best soccer player that I can be. I want to score the big goal so that I can walk around the campus and have people notice so that all of the girls will think I'm awesome. Then I move into college and I think, gosh, if I join the right fraternity or I go to the right party or I drink enough beer or go to the gym and I'd get buff. All these things that I was trying to do to accomplish getting the girls to like me. But what I didn't realize is that I was actually causing a lot of problems, not only for myself, but in the women's lives that I was dating.
I learned the hard way that sex outside of marriage for a Christian is a dead-end scenario. It is a barrier between us and our relationship with God.
I want to let you in on something from the New York Times. The average number of dates before somebody has sex in American culture today is 4 dates. The most compelling thing that I hear the church saying to young men and women today is don't have sex because you might get a venereal disease or you might get somebody pregnant. The church has lost its voice. We do a terrible job of communicating to young men and women like yourselves what is the value of staying pure until you're married.
After listening to that seminar, I've really just been thinking about how I date and where my paradigm shifts. Okay, how do I treat women, whether it's the first date or the 5th date or even the 10th date, and just cherish her heart as well as protect mine, and all the while just glorifying God in that. The dynamic with Tim and Sam is so organic and it's rich and it's what God wants in our kingdom living with relationship to one another.
Okay, so we're going to cover some of the cultural myths about love and sex and dating. The myth that we should postpone marriage until we get everything figured out in our lives. That we need to wait and delay until we have the career job of our dreams, enough money in the bank to buy a 1-carat diamond, we have a car and a house and all our school debts paid off, and then we can start thinking about dating.
It's the myth of the soulmate. Hollywood has sold us a bill of goods on this one. There is this one serendipitous love of our life that is out there that is going to satiate our spirits for eternity, right? It's The Notebook and Pretty Woman. But we know better, right? We're Christians. There is only one person out there who will ever satiate our soul for eternity, and that is Jesus Christ.
And our culture perpetuates the myth that love is a feeling, something that you fall in or fall out of. In Europe today, the #1 reason that's being given for people entering into divorce is the fact that they've fallen out of love. Now, the Bible tells us a different story. In 1 John, it says that God initiated love towards us. And because He first loved us, we have the opportunity to love others.
Is it sex equals love? And this one, oh man, this was a big one for me. This is one I bought into way too many times. I believed that what I put out there, that my sexuality, that my beauty, all of that would gain me love. About 5 weeks after Tim and I started dating, he asked me to be his girlfriend. He slipped a purity ring onto my finger, got down on one knee. He asked me to wait for him. He asked me to wait for our relationship, and he asked for God to bless it. And that sounded like a lot of waiting, and I am not that patient. I was really scared. I wanted to believe in purity, but I'm not even sure that I knew it was possible. It's more important to do the work before than after. There are 3 components to getting healthy: your emotional health, your spiritual health, and your physical health.
The conference was great. I just got out that Tim and Samantha did. I've got some new things that I can apply with my dating, and I'm so excited to date how God intended to date.
The dating plan. This is going to be about 5 steps, 5 phases where we move at the dating plan and the type of relationship that God intended us for. The most important part of working a plan is making sure you set the groundwork first. If you don't know what you're looking for in a relationship, how are you going to ever know if you found it? The first category of the plan is the friend pool. There's so many things that you can do to create your friend pool with healthy people that are moving in the same direction that you are. We want you to go on intentional dates. That's the second phase of the dating plan, because all you're doing is trying to get to know the other person and see if they have the characteristics that you're looking for in a relationship. If they don't have what you're looking for, they go back into the friend pool. If they have what you're looking for, you can move towards an intentional relationship. Now, the goal in the long-term relationship is to still figure out whether they have what you're looking for in a spouse. Once you get to the end of the boyfriend-girlfriend phase and you realize this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with, that's when it's time to figure out a great plan to ask them to marry you. And once you get engaged, we don't expect you to stay too long there, because once you know that this is the right person for you, you want to walk down the aisle. So move towards that as quickly as you can and then get married, and that's where the fun begins. You get to experience the relationship that God intended you for. We're so glad that you guys were all here this afternoon. It has been great talking to you about the dating plan. We're going to be available and up here for questions afterwards, and so we'd love to get to know you a little bit better. Thanks for being with us, and we hope that the dating plan works for you as well as it worked for us. Have a great afternoon.